every weekday starting at 9 a.m. for the chance to hear full-length, unabridged opera, ballet, symphonic, and chamber music. I'll share news of local concert events that you may be interested in attending, background information about some of the greatest musical compositions ever written. Tune in weekdays 9 to 10 a.m. and Wednesday from 9 to 10:30.
Wednesday morning here on KSJE, and it's time once again to take our weekly trip to the Encouragement Lab. Communications Professor Dr. Mike Hattabaugh is standing by in the lab this week. Dr. Hattabaugh, good morning.
Good morning, Scott.
Thank you for joining us. And last week you kind of gave us a little teaser of what you want to talk about this week, and that is the word tolerate.
Yeah, a word that has now been erased from the dictionary just in a year and a half. I saw that we're now redefining words that have been in the dictionary for thousands of years. And again, some of those we need to add to those definitions for sure, because words change.
Right.
But I want to talk more about the connotation of the word tolerate. And I'm very proud to say that 10 years ago, when people started using that word, that I very, very clearly spoke out to people and said, look, the problem with the word tolerate is it really means you have to tolerate my beliefs, but I don't have to tolerate yours.
Right.
And I think that largely has played out. And interesting enough, that word now has become a bygone word. It's like, what did that word mean? Because everybody was using it a decade ago. We were talking about being tolerant. But now we're not tolerant of anything. It's, you better believe like me or I'm going to go do something. I'm going to, guard whatever with my automatic weapon, or I'm going to tear down the statues, or I'm going to, all these things from the right and the left have become very intolerant of how we're acting out. And so I just want to point that out, that that word all of a sudden, after years of people going, it's really important. I don't know anybody that, now I'm sure there's still some people going, I'm still using that, but the truth is that it's not going to be heard by anybody right now. Anybody that are actors in the culture.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
So what do we do about that? Well, I think we need to realize that we've been driven by emotionally based language for really a while now. People have perfected the psychological science of Pavlovian response.
Okay. Right.
And if you're online for any amount of time at all, I just want you to realize how manipulated we are online. We won't click on an article that's straight news anymore. We just don't. It's too boring. That's old news. I already know that. But if it has emotionally driven words like racist is one, then we're interested. And
right.
they've charted the use of emotionally driven descriptors, and it's like the chart. Like you think the COVID rate is going up? Go look at the chart of emotionally charged words for titles of news articles. And I'm talking about even in mainstream news. This has become the norm because they know if they don't post that, no eyeballs show up.
Right. Well, and they want those clicks, don't they? Isn't it all about the clicks these days?
It is.
That's my understanding. And I think a lot of folks only read the headline and don't even click to read the story, which could be a little less inflammatory than the headline was. Because
the headline, it either confirms our belief or it denies our belief.
Right. True.
And so we either see the headline and go, yep, I was right, or we see the headline and go, oh, they're wrong, I'm not even going to read it.
Yes. That's not very tolerant, is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I've been watching. Here's something, if you ever are on a Facebook, I know you've had a few interesting conversations over the years with people that have been upset about something you've said or done on the radio station. I certainly have had those. But what I find interesting is usually the most emotionally driven content, like if someone says something very like, this is just, and then it's some really sharp emotional context.
Right.
They almost never hang around. They're snipers. They say the, and then they disappear. They hightail it because they don't really want to debate the facts. They just want to give you their opinion.
Right. I think we find a lot of that.
What's that, Scott?
We find a lot of that and see a lot of that, I think, on social media especially.
Yeah, and we call those people trolls. That's trolling.
Right.
It's I'm just got the lure in the water, and when I see something, I yank the bait and rip it out of the fish's mouth and go on and feel satisfied that I somehow, I've got a friend online who happens to be somebody I went to high school with, that he brags all the time about how many times he gets kicked off of Facebook. Well, I'm about to get kicked off again. And he goes and posts some radical, outrageous thing. And what's funny is I can say that, and it doesn't matter which direction. I see people on both sides that I just go, okay, wow, you're one of the smartest people I know. Why are you posting this stuff that is just outrageously one direction or the other? I don't.
Yeah.
I guess there's some satisfaction in that. I don't know. And I hate it when my posts go off the rails, when I'm like, hey, I don't want to talk about the politics of this. I want to talk about this factual thing, this interesting conversation.
Yeah.
And
no, I'm
so
with
anyway,
you.
I just want people to realize that if you're still writing from the context that, as I often do, of, okay, let's be tolerant of your ideas and hear what they really mean, don't expect that very much right now. And I'm afraid that if we don't get that back under our context, I'm just afraid of where this all ends. So that's why I'm kind of yelling, hey, stop it. Just stop with the polarization, stop with the outrageous caricature of people that I see of, all people of this belief or this race or this color or this profession or all this way. That is dangerous, dangerous thinking. And I don't mind saying that at all, is that I think that is what unfortunately leads to really, really bad places.
I agree. And I don't mind saying that at all either, Dr. Hattabaugh. So thank you for reminding us of that today. And we appreciate the message.
You're welcome.
Thank you. We'll talk to you again next week.
We'll see you then.
All righty. That is Dr. Mike Hattabaugh. He is with me every Wednesday right here on KSJE Farmington.
Bred as royal horses of the Austrian emperor, the beautiful and graceful